For the last 3 years, the artificial intelligence industry operated with zero speed limits. Companies bought up every GPU cluster they could find and poured them into training the largest general models possible, assuming that sheer scale would solve every problem. That window of friction-free expansion has closed. The tech giants driving this market are suddenly maneuvering like wartime logistics operations. The brute force strategy of throwing endless compute at massive datasets has collided with a hard ceiling of physical constraints and international scrutiny. Moving forward, the companies trying to survive this market are being squeezed from 3 distinct directions: sovereign governments, broken hardware supply chains, and the ruthless economics of enterprise clients. We are watching the end of the unrestricted global software release. AI labs are now seeking to merge their interests directly with the state to survive mounting regulatory pressure. Sam Altman recently took a proposal to Washington, offering the U.S. government a 5% ownership stake in OpenAI, a cut currently valued at over $42 billion. Altman is pushing for an international safety forum, modeled on the IAEA that regulates nuclear energy, to dictate who gets access to advanced models. Washington is already stepping in to enforce these boundaries. Anthropic has been forced to restrict its Mythos 5 model solely to vetted cyber defenders, while OpenAI's GPT 5.6 preview is limited to a hand-picked list of strategic partners. Mutual suspicion has partitioned the ecosystem. Across the Pacific, Alibaba issued a sweeping mandate for all employees to completely remove Anthropic products from their machines. An internal security audit found that Claude code contained hidden instructions that cross-referenced local time zones and API settings against keywords tied to Chinese cloud providers, which the company flagged as a potential backdoor. These audits and bans signal that governments now view AI models as sensitive weapons systems that require sovereign borders. All that government maneuvering means very little without the physical infrastructure to actually run the software, and the physical supply chain is buckling under the demand. Compute is now so scarce that NVIDIA is trading GPU access to fast-growing AI startups in exchange for a permanent slice of their future revenue. The downstream effects of this component shortage are hitting the largest consumer electronics manufacturers, forcing rare concessions from companies like Apple. Apple is currently lobbying Washington for special permission to purchase memory chips from Chinese manufacturers CXMT and YMTC, companies currently sitting on a Pentagon blacklist, simply to secure enough RAM for their upcoming product lines. The hardware bottleneck is so severe that it is forcing the industry's heaviest hitters to surrender equity and test international embargoes just to keep their assembly lines moving. Even if an AI lab navigates the government oversight and secures the necessary hardware, they face a third, more immediate problem. Massive general-purpose models struggle to deliver reliable value in a corporate setting. Microsoft is spending $2.5 billion on a new initiative called the Frontier Company Program, which deploys 6,000 forward-deployed engineers directly to their enterprise clients. They are parachuting human experts into these businesses to manually stitch the technology into their workflows, trying to salvage the return on investment that off-the-shelf software failed to provide. Rather than paying for brute force human integration, many enterprises are finding better results by abandoning frontier models entirely and training hyper-specialized local AI. Mira Muradi's Thinking Machines Lab partnered with the hedge fund Bridgewater to train a much smaller open-source AI specifically tuned to filter complex financial intelligence. This bar chart compares the accuracy of the major models on those financial tasks. While GPT and Claude hovered around 50% accuracy, Bridgewater's specialized Quen model hit 84.7%, all while costing nearly 14 times less to operate. ByteDance researchers have discovered a similar efficiency path, proving that AI agents interacting with real-world, long-horizon tasks can double their learning speed every 3 months without constantly needing massive new data injections. The enterprise market is steadily rejecting the idea that bigger is automatically better. Businesses want solutions that are cheaper to run, highly specialized, and surgically precise. This combination of state oversight, hardware scarcity, and client demands has locked the industry into a new structure. The wide-open software ecosystem we saw over the last few years now looks much more like modern aerospace manufacturing, a balkanized, strictly regulated sector deeply tied to sovereign national interests. Survival in the next phase of the AI race depends on navigating state red tape, securing physical silicon and proving real-world economic value.